More than 90% of trainers wash out of the industry inside the first 12 to 18 months, but I'm a firm believer that it has a lot to do with how and where they're getting started. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 4 questions that you should ask in your next training interview to make sure that you're getting into a place that's right for you. First off, don't be nervous to ask questions in any interview, but especially as you're getting certified and into the industry as a trainer, you do wanna make sure that you're getting into a high quality environment. As you know, the fitness industry, gyms, it's kind of the Wild West out there. And if you want to see yourself succeed, not just over the next couple of months, but the next couple of years, you really want to make sure that you feel good about that first place. So aside from the questions I'm going to go through, as you're getting started, you want to find a place that just makes you feel good. You get there and you get the feeling that they're going to take care of you. They're not going to throw you to the wolves. But if you're not quite sure, these questions will help you uncover some of that. The first question that I think you should ask in your next trainer interview, because it's a great place to lead. It shows whoever you might be getting employed by that you're interested in growth. And that is, what does new trainer education look like? Meaning, as I get started, if I were to get hired here, what does my first 30 to 60 days look like onboarding and learning as a trainer at your facility? That is such a great question. Not only because it's going to showcase to that person, the hiring manager, that you are thinking for the future, you want to grow, you're prioritizing getting better as a trainer, but for you, it's also going to give you a really good indication of what kind of organization, what kind of development plan they have there. For a lot of facilities that are out there, whether they're a private studio or even a corporate facility, they may or may not have much of an onboarding program. And so their answers and how they answer that is probably gonna give you a lot of clarity. For example, if they talk about how, trainers who come in, we usually give them the first 30 days or so to start to get some clients. You'll work some floor hours and start to get to know the members. There's not a lot of structure to that answer, right? That's kind of giving you the idea that, it's kind of a sink or swim environment here, that we're gonna see who comes in and automatically does well, versus getting into a place that actually pulls out and shows you what the development plan looks like. They say things like, we don't like to throw people right out there right away. We want to make sure that you really learn what we do. So you're going to go through, you'll spend time with this person, this person, this person. Those are the kinds of answers that you're listening and looking for. Because I would imagine, I already know, if you're watching our videos here on YouTube, you want to be a great trainer. And a lot of that is trying to find out and seek mentorship inside of that first training job. And that's a really great question to help you uncover it. The tag on to that would be, as you stay on as a staff member, what opportunities are there for ongoing education? Does the organization or does the gym ever bring people in to do in-services? Do they along the way maybe even offer a certain amount of spending for CEU courses after you've worked for a certain period of time? These are very common things that great facilities who value education and training and development will do. After you're there for 6 to 12 months, you might be able to apply for a certain amount of money to go towards a CEU course or some sort of education. Either way, really great question, because it's going to showcase for that person that you're interested in growth, and for you it's also going to start to give you more information on what's the culture like here? Are they going to throw me out there and expect me to figure it out on my own, which works for some, or are they going to really take their time and nurture and grow me? If so, that's the kind of place I want to see you guys get started at. The next question here is, who does the selling? And you can ask this in a couple of ways, because that might come across a little odd for you, although for me, I just like to ask it because it's going to give you an understanding of, in that location, do they have separate salespeople, right? Especially if you're in a larger organization, corporation, big box gym, they may have salespeople who are doing some of the selling memberships, getting people signed up for packages, and then you're just handed off clients. And so for some of you guys, as you think about that question, that might be a great scenario for you, where you're like, oh gosh, I want to focus more on the training element. Maybe I'm not quite as comfortable on the selling piece yet, I'm gonna have to go out and just sell people on the floor. It's a great thing to know going in. Now, without a doubt, guys, no matter what environment you get into, training, coaching, selling is a part of it, right? Getting people to take action really is what sales is. So don't shy away from it, but I do like this question because it's gonna give you a better idea of what they expect from you. And the opposite answer might be, maybe they have no salespeople and they expect the trainers to be generating leads. So that's why I think another way you could ask this is also, how do most clients come into the facility, right? How do most training clients find you guys or become personal training clients? And obviously there's a number of ways that that may happen in facilities, but again, that's gonna give you some good intel. You know, if they have a really strong referral network in the community where it's like, honestly, we're commonly getting a lot of clients from physical therapists. You know, we've got a great membership base, so as people come in, they're requesting, you know, things like intro sessions and strategy sessions. So it just gives you some information on how people are coming in, or whether that gym is going to expect you to do all the work yourself. I don't think one is good and one is bad, but as you think about you and your personality and what you're looking for in a facility as you get started, that's an important question, right? Am I gonna be expected to hit sales quotas, where if I don't hit that sales quota, if I'm not selling a certain amount of supplements after 60 days, you guys are gonna let me go? I wanna know all that stuff up front versus being excited, getting into it, and then realizing, oh gosh, wow, I gotta come up with all my own clients and I gotta do it all by myself. So really good question. The third question that I would ask is, how does compensation work, right? I have no qualms. I would love to train clients every day if I never had to worry about money. Like if money was just, you know, infinite, but reality is like, hey, we gotta make income. And even for some of you, maybe you're getting into training because you just wanna help people, you know? And so maybe you're like, I'm not so concerned about that. But that is a great question to ask, because culturally, inside of whatever facility you're gonna work, it's gonna tell you a lot about what's going on there, right? Not only what's my earning potential, which may be super relevant for some of you guys, even though in the beginning, for me, if I had to prioritize, I would be looking for the place that's really gonna grow me, they're gonna nurture me, versus just pay me more in the beginning. But how they answer that, to me, is the interesting piece. I like places, and I would recommend for you guys, and you're probably gonna feel more comfortable in a place that's super clear on how they pay you. Like, this is exactly how compensation works. Because no one ends up happy long-term in a facility where every time their paycheck comes every 2 weeks, they're like, I have no idea how I'm getting paid. You know, like, I don't even know, like, how do my training sessions add up to this? You want clarity in that. And so that's just definitely something I would look out for. And for some places, that would also be a red flag for me, you know, where they're like, well, and it's not really clear. They kind of just give a range, but they don't really give you much information. Tends to be a culture that may not be as organized. Maybe they're expecting more from people than they're paying. Either way, great question, because you just want to be clear on it, right? It may not be the #1 priority. I do believe finding a place where you've got a lot of opportunity to get reps, a lot of opportunity to be nurtured, to learn from other people, that's going to pay you bigger dividends down the road. But let's be real clear. Ask the question right away. Don't be shy about it. You know, it's gonna be much harder 2 or 3 months in for you to like I have some questions about how I'm being paid, instead of being very clear from the beginning. Because to me, that's also a motivator. I think it's great for facilities that have, let's say, level-based or activity-based pay. You might find certain corporations or larger gyms where once you hit beyond 10 sessions a week into 15 into 20, you'll see those pay scales going up. For me as a new trainer, I love that, and I want to see it because I want to, know that, like, okay, cool, there's levels of opportunity and growth for me here. And I honestly think for hiring managers, we all know it's the thought in everyone's mind. So I think there's a great opportunity to also develop some professionalism and some respect inside of that relationship by just asking that question confidently and getting the intel that you need. And then the fourth one, right? We've already gathered probably a lot of information about the facility, about the culture with the 3 questions that we've asked. We've dove into a lot of things about the facility because these questions can really give you a lot. But the last one would also be kind of encapsulating some of this and giving you a better idea of, do people stick around here? Like, what's the long-term look like for me? What's the average tenure, meaning how long do most trainers stay inside this facility? And then also, what's their average income, right? Like, what's their average pay? You want to know not just, hey, what's the pay structure, right? Because here may be the pay structure, and then there's what people are actually making. To see how many people, there may be like a 3-tiered system of income, but maybe no one's actually at that 3rd tier, right? It might sound good, but the opportunity to get there is very low. So I think this is a very fair question, right? Average tenure, how long are people staying? Because I want to get an idea of, if it's a really great culture, guys, people are going to stay for a much longer period of time. Now, in training, that might be a couple of years, right? Staying at a facility for 3 or 4 years, for most gyms is pretty good, versus the turnover that a lot of places see of 3 months, 6 months. And so don't be afraid to ask that question. And even for smaller boutique facilities, it'll just give you an idea of like, are they tracking that stuff? Are they really invested in understanding their team and their staff? If they are, they'll be able to confidently give you that information. And they also won't have any problems telling you the other things. Now, they don't have to show you someone's W-2 to give their exact info, but they should definitely feel comfortable giving a range of like, okay, this person's been here, for this many years and they've got this many clients and this is about what they make. To me, it just kind of builds on the compensation question before and gives you an idea of how comfortable are they just being open and honest about what it's like to work here. Because in the end, guys, that's gonna make a huge difference for you. A lot of people that you talk to, maybe you've already spoken to, who had poor experiences getting in as personal trainers, they might tell you like, there's no money in it, you're gonna get burnt out, all these things. Guys, I've been doing it for 16 years. I wake up every day absolutely in love with it. But I'm lucky. I found my way into some really great facilities. I asked the right questions to make sure I was going down the right path. And then along the way, I created my own thing because maybe all the other opportunities out there weren't right for me. But don't be afraid, guys, to ask these questions because I want to make sure you guys do this for the long haul. Whether you're getting certified right now or you've just gotten certified, we want to make sure you end up in the right place. And these 4 questions will help you get there.